I was able to list about 5 specific ways that Weibo did manage to change China over the years, and I'm going to show you a couple of these websites. I'll explain that in a minute. Number one, it gave a voice to people who previously never really had a voice in terms of letting us know, letting us foreigner journalists know, letting the government know what they really thought. It gave a voice to people who had previously been voiceless. Number two, it allowed citizens to mobilize around a specific cause, whether that was consumer protection for food safety, whether it was the environment, whether it was searching for missing children. It allowed citizens in China to be able to mobilize themselves without the government around causes that they came together in this virtual online universe to try to resolve. Number three, Weibo allowed citizens for the first time to directly criticize the government. And this became very important because I was able to see later on, and I'll get into that later, how the government actually then began to monitor Weibo and use Weibo, especially on the local and provincial level. The Beijing government, for instance, told me just a few months ago that they now have a whole staff of people whose job is to do nothing but monitor what people are saying about the Beijing government on these websites and on Weibo so they can respond instantly, whether it's a bus that didn't come or a street that's flooded or any, a traffic light that's not working, up to more important things like pollution. So it gave people a way to criticize government or government inaction, and it gave the government a way to see what people are thinking. And the other avenue, the fourth thing I'll mention, which is kind of interesting, it created a way for ordinary people to expose evidence of corruption and with bypassing the official structure. The official structure in China is you go to your local petition office, and if you get no redress, you can try to make it up to the national petition office. Typically what would happen is people who went to the national petition office would be arrested and sent back to their localities. This gave people a way to expose corruption, particularly among local officials, and I'll get back to that in a minute as well. And then finally, and I think most importantly, Weibo, social media, Chinese Twitter, gave ordinary Chinese an alternative source of news and information outside of the control of the Communist Party. And I think that was relatively key because these days, most people I met and talked to who are under 30 or 35 years old said they get all of their news off of Weibo. They don't trust anything that's on the official government CCTV television channels, or they don't trust anything that's in the official newspapers, most of which get their information off of Xinhua.